Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy. Get a little comfortable here. This your boy J.Raw with the J.Raw Wrestling Podcast. Uh, Today this is a live review, like I said on the episode that I released Thursday. That was my second episode. That's gonna be my weekly show on Thursday. I said I was gonna do a review of Ring of Honor, the World Worlds Tour from Wednesday, which was the 8th, and Thursday, which was the ninth. They also had a show last night, and they have it in a show tonight. But I'll do the reviews for the rest of the tour on the Ring of Honor and New Japan show on Monday. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into the episode for, actually, the show that was Wednesday, which was May the 8th, and it was in Buffalo. All right, so just going to go into the first match was PJ Black versus Alex Coughlin. Coughlin is a young lion from the New Japan Pro Wrestling LA Dojo, and he went hole for hole and chop for chop with the veteran Black for the majority of the match. Coughlin nearly pulled off the upset, rolling through Black's springboard crossbody for a near fall. But Black halted Coughlin's momentum with a super kick, then finished him off with a moonsault into the stomp. And pretty much you had PJ Black going over Alex Coughlin. It was a pretty good match. I like Coughlin sticking to, well, he has to be it though. That's the whole motto with the LA Dojo with New Japan. You have to earn your colors, as they say. So, but overall, it was a great match. All right, so the next match you had the Woman of Honor World Title match against Kelly Kelly versus Katie Carney. By the way, I'm reading these results from straight off of Ring of Honor's website. Make sure you check them out. Okay. So just before the opening bell, the Allure, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, and Mandy Leon make a dramatic entrance and sat down on commentary. Klein was momentarily distracted, and Cardi took advantage and went on the offense. Carney hit a DDT for the 2 count and continued to take the fight to Klein on the floor. The challenger charged at Klein outside the ring, but Klein moved and Carney crashed into the ring post. That was the opening Klein needed. The champion hit a fallaway slam and later connected on a clothesline before hitting K Power for the victory. Now, after the match, Klein grabbed the microphone and challenged the Allure to come into the ring and fight her. The Allure walked down to the ring and hopped up on the apron, but they laughed in the usual Allure fashion and made their way back into to the made their way to the back. All right, so next you had a match between two more young lions from the LA Dojo, Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors, going up against the Kingdom, TK Ryan and Vinny Marcelli. All right, the NWGP LA Dojo Young Lions seized the advantage in the early going and seemed to catch the Kingdom off guard. The Kingdom weathered the storm and isolate Connors. Connors eventually tagged in Fredericks, who trapped Orion in a sharpshooter. Orion appeared to be on the verge of tapping before Marcellia made the save. The Kingdom went on and hit the House of 1,000 Horses on both of their opponents to get the win. And that was a pretty good match. In a way, you could say they kind of squashed the LA Young Lions. And I like the finisher that they have, the House of 1,000 Horses. It's a pretty dope, innovative tag finisher. Um, Up there with, I would say, the Magic Killer and what's that? The Doomsday Device that the Legion of Doom used to have. I think that's who used to have the Doomsday Device. But all in all, like I said, it was a pretty good match. Um, all right, so after that, we had Hikalu from the Bullet Club, Tama Tonga and Tamaloa's brother, go up against Shane Taylor. All right. Okay, so Hikalu extended his hand and he served in adherence of the code of honor. But Taylor spits on it and says, "Welcome to Ring of Honor." That incites the 6'8" Hikalu, who went on the attack. Hikalu had Taylor reeling after a Samoan drop in a big clothesline, but Taylor caught Hikalu with greetings from 216 out of nowhere. And that pretty much was the match. It was a quick match. I can't really, in a way, say it was a squash because Hikalu did get some offense in, but once Shane Taylor hit his finisher, that pretty much was the match. All right. So after that, your next match was Nos Inhalables de Japons, Evil and Sonata going up against Lifebloods, Mark Haskins and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Now, these guys are two of the best tag teams in Ring of Honor. Well, in Ring of Honor and New Japan, because even though Evil and Sonata is on this tour, they're mainly in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they went back and forth for nearly 20 minutes. During the later stages of the match, Williams trapped Sonata in the ankle lock, and out of desperation, Sonata grabbed referee Todd Sinclair, who chooses not to disqualify him. While Sinclair was tied up with Evil and Sonata, Evil nailed Williams with the chair. Sonata rolled up Williams, but Haskins made the save. Evil and Sonata hit a magic killer on Haskins, then another magic killer on Williams to give the two-time former IWGP champions the win. So pretty much, Evil and Sonata got the pin, or they went over on Mark Haskins and Tracy Williams of Lifeblood. Overall, this was a pretty good match. I liked the psychology of it. I always love when Sonata hits that Paradise Lock. Sometimes I'll be wanting to hit that on my sons when they be acting up, especially my middle son. I just talked to his behind, but that's a story for another day. He's also going to be featured on my podcast. I may have him on the NXT and 205 Live review, NXT UK and 205 Live review. But let's get back into this Ring of Honor right here. All right, so next we have a match between Silas Young and Roosh, my boy Roosh. All right, but we had Dalton Castle come out and he took a seat at the ringside table prior to the start of the match. Young gained an advantage by targeting Roosh's knee. Young took the match outside the ring after diverting the referee's attention. He put a chair around Roosh's neck and ran him into the ring post. Roosh could have been seriously injured, but amazingly, the dangerous move only fired him up. Roosh repeatedly tossed Young into the barricades and then finished them off with the bullhorns to remain undefeated in Ring of Honor. Now, after the match, Castle popped up on the apron with the chair in hand, but then he backed off. So I like how Dalton tried to play like he was going to do something to Roosh, but then he stepped off because he don't want the more smoke from Roosh. Roosh took care of him at the G1 Supercar. So he don't want no smoke from Roosh right now. All right, hold on real quick. I'm going to pop a little beverage. Give me like about 20 seconds. All right, peoples, hold on. I know it's 11:44 in the morning, but taking a quick little pop. Toasting. Happy Saturday, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all enjoying this. All right. Oh, by the way, even though I don't have nobody right now, the live chat is up. So if you guys want to leave some questions or some comments about what I'm my commentary on the tour, just leave, you know what I'm saying, leave right there. Okay. So after the little altercation with Dalton Castle and Roosh, next you had the 6-man tag match for the World 6-man Championship with Villain Enterprises. And if y'all don't know, that y'all, I'm pretty sure do know by now who Villain Enterprises is. That's Marty Skrull, PCO, and Brody King. Okay, and they're going up against the World Television Champion Jeff Cobb, Setsutori Komahaji, and Yuji Nagata. Okay. Now, oh, should have muted that. Sorry, folks. Hold on. All right. So, all right. We have the ROH World Champion Matt Taven, who will defend his title against PCO at the War of the World show the next day, May 9th in Toronto. He said at commentary for this match. Even though Kojima and Nagata had never teamed up before, the three hard-hitting athletes proved to be a formidable combination. As the match neared the 20-minute mark, all 6 men were in the ring and a series of rapid-fire, high-impact moves ensued. After Cobb and Nagata were knocked out on the floor, Villain Enterprises went to work on Kamajita. King hit a running senton on Kojita as he draped across Skrull's legs. PCO followed up with a moonsault for the victory. As Villain Enterprises celebrated their hard-fought win, the Kingdom, TK Ryan, and Billy Marcelli attacked from behind. They took out Skrull and King and then went to work on PCO. But PCO grabbed them by the throats and then tossed them over the rope. Taven hit the ring and nailed PCO with the ROH World Championship belt. As Taven stood over the fallen PCO and taunted him, PCO suddenly popped up and then stunned Taven and then the stunned Taven quickly retreated. All right, and pretty much it was a great match. It's always good to see my boy Marty Skrull and PCO do his thing. This match was great. My motto, I say about to dag near all the reviews I do, but this was a pretty good match. It was a pretty great match, I will admit. All right, so next up we got the ROH tag team title match. We have the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tama Loa, going up against the team of Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal, my boys. All right, so God, also the reigning IWGP tag team champions, jumped Lethal and Gresham just before the opening bell, but challengers quickly regrouped and then hit stereo suicide dives. After several minutes of back and forth action, Lethal hits Hail to the King on Tama for a near fall. While the referee was distracted by Loa, Lethal went for lethal injection, but Tama nailed them in the back of the head with one of the championship belts. Gresham countered Tonga's counter attempt with a German suplex for a near fall. As Gresham charged across the ring, Tonga caught him with a cutter for the win. After the match, the Briscoes come down to the ring. Jay Briscoe said that the GODs will be the first and only successful defense of the ROH tag team titles because they're going to beat them at War of the Worlds in Chicago on May 12th. A standoff between the two sets of brothers quickly turned into a brawl. It took a locker room full of ROH and New Japan Dono trainees to separate them. Jay Briscoe was breathing above his eye as a result from the fight. And overall, this was a pretty good setup for their rematch for that ROH belt. I wouldn't be surprised if the Briscoes did get a chance to get that belt back. But I know it's going to be an amazing rematch. So, Besides, I'm gonna be honest. Besides the Walter and Pete Dunne rematch, I'm looking forward to the Briscoes versus the God's rematch. They always have because even though it was a fatal 4-way, originally it was going to be just the two of them, but they decided since the Briscoes, no, actually it was going to be originally it was going to be when the Briscoes had the ROH belt. It was going to be the God's versus the Briscoes winner take all. But when the Briscoes lost at the Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show in Vegas, that's when they lost the belts to Villain Enterprises, PCO and Brody King. Because Brody King and PCO at the time had the tag belts and they had the 6-man belt with Marty Scurll. But what ended up happening was they put the losers between because it was Evil and Sonata, because Evil and Sonata lost to the GODs for the IWGP tag belts. So they had Evil Sonata, the GODs, the Briscoes, and Villain Enterprises, and everybody knows the history. There was the fatal 4-way winner takes all at the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, if you have Honor Club, go back and watch it on Honor Club. Or if you have the opportunity to get Honor Club, get it. Is just as much as the WWE Network. It's only $10 a month. So if you can stress $20 a month, you can afford them both. That's what I do. That's how I'm able to keep up with Ring of Honor. And believe it or not, they do offer a discount on tickets when Ring of Honor comes to your city. So the next time Ring of Honor comes to Philly, I'm planning to take my son and my nephew. When I do go, I'm on a bando. I'm already signed up with Honor Club. I get a discount. So I'm gonna get a discount on that. But let's get back to this review. All right. So after that confrontation between the GODs and the Briscoes, you had a match between Bandito with Mark Haskin and Hot Sauce and Tracy Williams go up against Flip Gordon. This was the main event of this card. Okay. So you had the two fast rising young stars were mirror images of one another in the early stages of the match, and neither of them couldn't sustain an advantage until Bandito began targeting Gordon's knee. After the action spilled outside of the ring, Bandito planted Gordon with a reverse Hurricane Rana. Back inside the ring, Bandito hit a moonsault slam, but the resilient Gordon managed to kick out. Gordon rallied with a Star Spangled Banner stunner for a near fall. After a super kick to the back of Bandito's head, Gordon hit the flip 5 for the win. After the match, Haskins praised Gordon and said that he has a spot waiting for him in Lifeblood when he returns from Japan after the Best of the Super Juniors tournament if he wants it. And that was pretty much the end of the airing of the tour for the date they was in Buffalo. Overall, it was a pretty good show. The main event was amazing. I was actually surprised that Flip did go over on Bandito because I thought Bandito would have went over because Bandito had a little bit of momentum going in to the match. He's been rolling in Ring of Honor. So it's kind of like I gotta look it up, but I think this is his first loss in Ring of Honor for a while. As far as single action, I don't know about tag team, but definitely for single action, I do believe this is his first loss. All right, so we're gonna go into the Toronto, and we have a title change that happened in Toronto. So we're gonna get right into it. All right, so here's the recap. Okay, so the show starts out with the Young Lions from the LA Dojo from New Japan. We have Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, and Alan Coughlin in a 6-man match going up against the Bullet Club. And that'll be the ROH World and the IWGP heavyweight tag champs. That's the Gorillas of Destiny and their brother Hikaru. All right. So the Young Lions, Connor, Frederick, and Colin were not in the least bit intimidated and were aggressive right from the start. They hung with the Bullet Club member for nearly 10 minutes before Hikaru caught Connors with a power slam, followed by a choke slam into a sitting power bomb for the win. So pretty much you had the Bullet Club go over on the Young Lions from the LA Dojo. Overall, it wasn't a pretty bad match. Wasn't too much of a squash match because some of the Young Lions, I believe, it might have been Clark Connors, was able to get some offense in. So overall, it was a pretty bad match. It wasn't too bad. It was an okay match. All right. So next, you had a match between the two OGs. You had Silas Young and Yuji Nagata. And this match was pretty hard hitting. Okay. So after several minutes of hard hitting action, Young executes a misery on Nagata, but in the process of doing so, the referee inadvertently struck by one of Nagata's legs and knocked out of the ring. With the referee incapacitated, Young grabbed the chair from ringside, but Nagata was back on his feet before Young could use it. Young had to improvise, so he tossed a chair to Nagata and went down to the mat as if he was being hit by the chair. The Japanese legend responded by opening up the chair and placed it around his own head and lying down to the mat. When the referee came to, he surveyed the scene and awarded the match to Nagata by disqualification. Afterwards, Young tries to attack Nagata, but Nagata caught him with a cross arm breaker. And when he put him in that arm breaker, he pretty didn't want to let him go. All right, he started blacking out like Undertaker, like it was crazy. So overall, the match between the two OGs was nice, even though it was ended on a disqualification. But it was a nice setup, especially when Nagata put the chair around his neck and laid down. All right, so after that, you had the Kingdom, TKO Ryan and Vinny Marcelli go up against Los Inhalables de Japón's Evelyn Sonata. The evenly matched teams battled back and forth until the Kingdom was able to isolate Sonata. They hit a double jack flat on him, followed by a splash leg drop combination from the top rope for a near fall. The Kingdom set up for a house of 1,000 horses, but Sonata fought his way out of it. And then he and Evil went on to hit the Magic Killer to give the two-time former IWGP heavyweight tag champs the victory. So pretty much you had Evil and Sonata go over on TK Orion and Vinny Marcelli. Overall, this was a good match. I like when TK Orion was saying, "There's no way he's going to hit that Paradise Lock on me." Talk about Sonata. And what did Sonata do? Hit the Paradise Lock. Actually, on both of them. And they kicked them out. It was pretty good. All right. So after that, this was a pretty great match. You had PJ Black and Roosh, okay? And this was Roosh's opportunity to try to pick up a win after losing the night before. All right, so the match starts off with Black had the undefeated. No, actually, Roosh won. I'm sorry, Roosh is still undefeated. What am I talking about? and the funny thing about it, I did watch this. So Black had the undefeated Roosh reeling in the early going and scored a near fall with a crossbody from the top rope. Roosh eventually got on track and took the match outside the ring when he repeatedly threw Black into the barricades. After hitting a release belly-to-belly suplex on Black in the corner, Roosh followed up the bullhorns, nearly knocking Black out of the ring for yet another impressive win. And then Dalton Castle, after that match was over, he come out and he cuts a promo. But real quick, so far you had Roosh beat Dalton Castle at the G1 Supercar squash team. You had Roosh beat Silas Young in Buffalo. Just talked about. That's who I couldn't think of who he just beat. That's how my short-term memory be sometimes. But yeah, it was Silas Young that Roosh beat. And then last night in Toronto, you had Roosh go over on PJ Black. So, like I said, Roosh is on a nice little hot streak right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a chance to go after a title shot real soon. Probably by, I would say, I wouldn't be surprised by best of the both worlds in Baltimore in June if Bruce get a title shot. So back to while I was talking about Dalton Castle cutting the promo. Castle came down to the ring and said that he's feeling fantastic because he's boyless for the first time. He said he never needed the boys and that they aren't around to drag him down anymore. He said we are all witnessing the renaissance of Dalton Castle. Castle says he will burn down ROH. And this was a pretty good promo that Dalton Castle had cut. Um, the one thing I like about it is now he's deciding to do his own thing and not have the boys involved anymore. Hold on. I just didn't want to show the label. That's all why I took the swig. But all right. So, like I was saying, he cut a pretty decent promo, and the fact he wants to do this now without the boys and just doing his own thing, and which is good because Dalton Castle is a pretty good wrestler. I like his finisher, the Vagabond. I believe that's what it's called, like a combination of an airplane spin and a F5. That's why I like it so much. All right. So next we go to a match with the Briscoe brothers versus Lifebloods, Mark Haskins and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. All right. Despite having significant less experience as a team, Haskins and Williams look every bit equal of 10 equals to the 10-time ROH tag champions. Lifeblood appears to have the match won after Williams hit a frog splash on Jay Briscoe, but Mark Briscoe made the save. The Briscoes regrouped and went for the Doomsday device on Williams for the win. After the match, Bully Ray enters the ring and taunts the fallen Haskins and Williams. He admitted that he was responsible for the attack on Tennille Dashwood and said that he's going to eliminate every member of Lifeblood. He said he liked to do it to Juice, but Juice Robinson is in Japan doing jobs. Bully gave a shout out to Dave Finley and told him to get well soon so he can beat him just like he used to beat his Finley's father. Bully then turned attention to Haskins saying, "Tell your wife I said hello." When Haskins and Williams got back to their feet, Bully told them to leave the ring or else he'll beat them with the steel chain. They called his bluff, but Bully exited the ring. All right. So next you had the Woman of Honor champ Kelly Klein come down and she issues an open challenge. All right. Woman of Honor, woman champion Kelly Klein says she wants to defend her title against the best that Toronto has to offer. The Allure, of course, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Mandy Leon came down to the ring. Love hopped on the apron while Sky and Leon remained on the floor. Love said that she is from Toronto and it would be amazing for Klein and the fans if Klein defended her title against her tonight. Love says she has no longer lived in Canada and she's now a permanent resident of the United States. However, she's not going to let Klein defend the title tonight. Love says she will let Klein defend it against her when they're back in the US. As Love started to leave, Klein grabbed her by the hair and flipped her into the ring. Love rolled out of the ring as she, Sky, and Leon retreated. Klein said that they were nothing but a bunch of bees. All right, so overall, this little encounter, this little segment was pretty cool. You had like how even though the whole tradition and one of the reasons why I like Ring of Honor, they try to stick less with the segments and the little skits and the backstage stuff, and they stick straight on wrestling. And one of the reasons I do enjoy watching Ring of Honor, but I like what the Allures they're trying to bring to Ring of Honor with the whole bad girl or mean girl image, because we all know them. They former names the beautiful people when they were in TNA. But I like what they're doing. I like the little interaction with Kelly Klein. I wouldn't be surprised also if they do get the belts for that Best of the Worlds show in June, which will be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that pay-per-view. I watched it last year and it was pretty good. I wanted to go actually. I'm hoping I could go. I would love to go because it's June 29th. It's the day before they come to Philly because they're gonna come to Philly the next day, that Saturday. I would love to do both shows. Go to the Baltimore show that Friday, and then Saturday go to the show here in Philly at the 2300 Arena. So we're gonna get back into this because we almost done. All right, so this is where we had a little surprise going on here. All right, so we had a four-corner survival match for the ROH World Television Championship. We had, of course, the television champion, Jeff Cobb, versus Shane Taylor versus Brody King versus Hiroti Goto. The title was not on the line when this match was originally booked, but Taylor petitioned the ROH board of directors to make it a title match, and that his request was granted. Goto hit the Yugoroshi on Taylor, who rolled to the floor. Then King took out Goto with a huge clothesline. Cobb hit a German suplex on King, but King popped right up. Cobb came back with his Tour of the Islands finisher on King, but before Cobb could make the cover, Taylor slipped in the ring and nailed him in the back of the head with his knee. Taylor then scooped up King and then hit the greetings from 216 to win the match and the title, ending Cobb reign as World Television Champion of 222 days. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We had a title change that happened. No longer who is ranked what? I had Jeff Cobb number 7 on my top 10. Fortunately, he lost the World Television Champion, so may drop down a couple spots. I don't know. But it was a great four corners match. I was actually surprised that Shane Taylor did win this. He is well deserved of it, I will admit, because he does play a good heel for ROH. So, all right. So next, by the way, Cobb still has yet to be pinned or forced into submission since making his ROH debut. So technically, even though he lost this four corners survival match, he didn't get pinned or submitted. So technically, he's still undefeated on that note. All right, so now we are going to go into the main event of the show that was yesterday. All right, and that would be your ROH World Heavyweight Championship match. The champ Matt Taven versus PCO. All right, PCO's creator Destro electrocuted him before the match to bring him to life. PCO broke a wrench in half before making his way to the ring, which was pretty cool. All right. Early in the match, PCO short circuit and did a suicide dive on the opposite side of the ring where Taven was. Unfazed by a hard landing on the floor after coming up empty, PCO immediately connected on a cannonball through the ropes. After the Kingdom, TK Orion and Vinny Marcelli came down to the ring, is distracted the referee. Taven slammed PCO's face first onto Marcelli's axe, opening up a huge gash near PCO's one good eye. The sadistic Taven then struck his finger in PCO's eye and raked the eye across the top rope of Lacey's boots. Taven hit 3 DDTs, but PCO popped up and landed a tombstone pile driver for a near fall, then a senton off the top rope on on the top rope onto Taven on the apron. Taven answered with the climax on the chair and a fall splash for a near fall. PCO hits a moonsault and made the cover, but Orion placed Taven's foot on the bottom rope. PCO saved Destro from being attacked by Marcelli onto the floor, then powerbombed Marcelli through the ringside table. While all of that was going on, Orion passed a spike to Taven. Taven drove a spike into PCO's eye and covered him. The referee turned around and made a 3 count, and PCO kicked out a millisecond too late. Now, this was pretty controversial. I wonder what they're going to do about it. I know somebody's going to speak about it on the podcast other than mine's that is live on One Struggle Radio, but it was pretty cool to see this whole setup of how this is, because Taven, now everybody's gonna say, how can you call yourself the real world champ when PCO almost beat you? Because it was right. It was like a millisecond too late. I actually thought PCO kicked up, but he did. And I was just like, the referee still counted 3. I was scratching my head like, what the heck? That ain't, no, he cheated. Like, what are you talking about? No, he kicked out. But they still gave Taven the win. And then the ref, and another ref, I think his name is Paul O'Neill or something like that, the other ref Ring of Honor has. He came down and he was trying to tell him, but it was too late by then. Taven and the crew, they had already bounced by that time. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was a pretty good match overall. And like I said, it's interesting to see what they're going to do about that controversy. So all right, we over 30 minutes with this, and I didn't anticipate to go over the 30 minutes, but I'm glad I did. I had the opportunity to do this live. I've been chopping at the bit to do a live stream. I had to wait till a Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon to do this. I'm so glad I had the opportunity. Tomorrow I will do the NXT UK and 205 live review. More than likely, if I'm able to, I'll probably do it live. I won't do it with my son this week. Probably next week's episode, we'll do it together live. Look out for that. Also, got the NXT review up, the regular NXT. I have that up. I just uploaded that to this morning. I finished that last night. Listened to the second episode of the J.Raw podcast for the weekly show, the Thursday show. That's up. That's up on castboxfm.com and also SoundCloud. The episode, the review shows that I do, like my reviews and prediction shows, they'll be on the Castbox because I'm able to upload just more of my podcast episodes I do versus SoundCloud. But I'm going to keep SoundCloud strictly for the music and social podcast I have with my cousin. Shout out to DJ Core from Hardcore Productions. Remember, June 1st, 700 Tabor Road. Come on out. Got some great comics. Gonna have some great acts come out. Come on to the They Can't Do It Like Us showcase. The latest installment had one. Big Cuz did one, what? I want to say March. It was really good. So look out for the footage of that. Shout out to the cameraman. Forget his name. I follow him on the gram. He's a phenomenal cameraman. But because me and him looking to do some things together, him helping expand the One Struggle TV brand. I got some great things coming up, especially with the One Struggle Radio podcast. For the artists, we still got the Patreon up. You can submit songs to onestruggleradio@gmail.com. You can go to www.patreon.com/onestruggleradio, and you can check out the tier system we have with that. I'm also still working on the tier system, what I'm going to do for the people who subscribe to the J.Raw Wrestling Podcast. And thank y'all very much. A way of not only supporting me on Patreon, but I'm looking to do some really great things with that for the Patreon tier for my wrestling cast. So check out for that. Also, One Struggle Radio has a Wix page. We're going to have a store. I'm going to have merch for my wrestling podcast up in that store. So look out for that. So we're going to do some big things with the One Struggle Radio, and it's already starting with my wrestling podcast. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate everybody who, even though nobody's on now, but you get the opportunity to watch this, show your boys some love, watch some play, get some plays and watch this. I appreciate it. So without further ado, we at the 40-minute mark. I'm going to end this. I appreciate everybody, and y'all enjoy y'all Saturday because I am. And like I said, look out for the NXT UK and 205 live review tomorrow. Peace.